We'll just get excited. That's right. You ready? Just get a level.
Bernard Salt, partner with KPMG and author of The Activated City.
So run me through, I guess, if you can, brief the key points from your...
We've produced a new report looking at the Sunshine Coast in 2040. And there are a couple of key issues. The Sunshine Coast, I think, will add 150, maybe even 200,000 people by the middle of the century. What this means is that the city that we've known and loved over the last 50 years must be different going forward. It's a lifestyle city, it's a commuter city at the moment, it's a retirement city, which is terrific, it fills a niche, but that's not the city of 2040. The city of 2040 is a proud, independent, globally connected city with a new airport, with direct flights into Chinese mainland cities. It's a community with a vibrant arts community because there is a strong entrepreneurial element to the Sunshine Coast that converts into patronage around the arts. It's a community that looks after its, it cares for its community through hospital and wellness. It's a community that I think really connects with the values of the Australian people by 2040.
And looking at the Sunshine Coast, there's so many different projects on the go, but how important do you think Sun Central is in getting to those numbers by 2040?
I think the Sun Central project, this is the reimagining of this original CBD, is absolutely critical. In many respects, the Sunshine Coast is the accidental city. It's sort of grown like Topsy over the last 50 years or so. What it actually needs is a pulsing heart, and not a pulsing heart that evolves and is sort of cobbled onto. It's a pulsing heart that is boldly reimagined. And there's very few cities where you can actually do that, and that's precisely what they've done. It's a stroke of luck or fate, if you like, that the golf course was available. And so this is the core of the city that can take the greater Sunshine Coast urban mass through to 2040. It means that businesses, government departments, hotels, convention centres can all imagine the very best facility that this region deserves and put it in the very best location.
In your speech you went through a whole series of triggers which you identified was going to do well. What trigger is yet to fire on the Sunshine Coast?
There are a number of triggers that I think will change the demeanour and the outlook, the prosperity, if you like, of the Sunshine Coast going forward, and they are things like the new hospital, absolutely critical, the new airport upgrade, I think that's very important. The university, I think, was important 10 years ago. I think that a trigger for the next 10 or 20 years would be light rail to actually fuse the community together. That would be on my wish list to get for the Sunshine Coast to actually transform the. Because what you have at the moment is a number of very important and growing but disparate communities. Put a tram line there, maybe it's because I'm a Melburnian, you actually fuse the community together.
Do you think this growth can lessen the Sunshine Coast's dependence on Brisbane and lower the commuter rate as well?
In an ideal world, the Sunshine Coast of 2040 would still have connectivity with Brisbane, but it would be an almost equal flow. Yes, there's some people who want to Maroochydore and commute down to Brisbane in 2040, but there's people from Brisbane who want to commute up to the Sunshine Coast because of the unique opportunities in a planning sense and even in a self-confidence sense. No city wants to be dependent upon another city. Collaboration, integration, engagement, but not dependence. And the greater the entrepreneurial engine of the Sunshine Coast, the greater the job diversity. And what that means is that people who live, work, play, recreate on the Sunshine Coast can have confidence that their kids can actually grow, find a career, and have kids in turn on the Sunshine Coast. One of the saddest things I think around Australian cities and communities outside the big capital cities is people who say, well, yeah, my son, my daughter, my grandkids live in another city where there are more opportunities. What we really want to do in Australia is to create better opportunity, greater depth in the job market in regional cities like the Sunshine Coast.
Can I ask you that you made a really interesting point about a new debate about public infrastructure. It's time for a new public debate. What's running through your mind there? Because it's...
My concern is that if you look at major Australian cities, and the Sunshine Coast is certainly one of those, but if you look at Sydney or Melbourne, each of those are going to add 3 million people over the next 35 years or so. Fluidity, transportation, is going to be an absolutely critical element. Otherwise, our cities collapse under their own weight and you're unable to actually physically move around the city. What we need to be doing is investing in large-scale, big-picture pieces of infrastructure, whether it's new motorways, whether it's tunnels, whether it's light rail or heavy rail. And my concern is the sheer cost, the extraordinary cost, to actually deliver just 1 kilometre of tunnel, or 1 kilometre on top of the ground, or 1 kilometre of light rail. It seems like an extraordinary cost. We either need to find a new way to raise money, or we need to be far more efficient and better able to deliver mileage, kilometrage if you like, of track or road at a cheaper cost, because we seem to be pricing ourselves out of the market, in fact.
Can the Sunshine Coast achieve the future that you've outlined without that growth to roads and rail?
I certainly do think that the Sunshine Coast can achieve, in fact, the outcome that I've outlined in 2040. In an ideal world, you would have better connectivity with Brisbane. You would actually have light rail and even heavy rail. In an ideal world, those elements will create a better city, better fluidity, better quality of life. People will be happier, be less stressed, if you like. Yes, I think because of the sheer growth and entrepreneurial energy on the Sunshine Coast, it's going to head in that direction. But what we want is to get it as far as possible. We want the 1% that's going to make all the difference in 2040, and that would be the light rail. That's what I want to see. We've got the new CBD. Next on my wish list is the light rail. How can we get that here? Which minister do I need to speak to get that to happen right here? Jackie Travis.
What would your message to small businesses thinking of creating, setting up, or even moving to the Sunshine Coast?
One of the extraordinary findings of this report is the energy, the sheer entrepreneurial energy being focused on the Sunshine Coast at the small business level. These are people that are employing between 1 and 4 workers. I think in reality, these are plumbers, electricians, carpenters, the tradie element that is really the backbone of the entrepreneurial energy of the Sunshine Coast. But I think it's probably more than that. There's probably lawyers and accountants and consultants and computer technicians and so forth that are also moving there. I think that it proves the philosophy that in the post-industrial age, where you're not connected into a motor car assembly plant line, that you can actually work anywhere. Why wouldn't you, if you had mobile skills, locate those skills in a growing lifestyle area? The logic is not rocket science. We're seeing it occur in Miami, in Florida. I think we're seeing it occur in Phoenix, in Arizona. I'd love to be able to say that the Sunshine Coast is leading the world, but in actual fact, I think it's following a pretty predictable path where people find the path of least resistance to a lifestyle area where they have control over their own destiny. Run your own business in a lifestyle area. It's a pretty attractive proposition to an Australian.
Do you know very much about a project called Cross River Rail project here in Brisbane, which is looking at increasing the rail up the Sunshine Coast all the way through the Gold Coast? Do you know
I'm aware of the Cross River Rail project in the same way that I'm aware of the West Connects project in Sydney and the Metro Tunnel at a very high level. Yeah. I understand that it's required to deliver or inject fluidity into Brisbane. I'm not sure of the state of the funding or whatever, but it seems to be like the next big project on the wish list for Brisbane.
There's a business case due to be finalised mid-year. Do you know enough about it?
No, actually, don't, unfortunately, no.
That's all right.
I just about to see shot while you chat.